Dan Rothenberg and Joe Klosik, two guys trying to figure it out. Not the right wing, not the brosphere. Left of center with humor and empathy.
Hello.
Hello, everybody, and
welcome to the Splain. Yeah. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to you. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. It's
If
not
you
just
like
mothers.
What
but-
we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
Just
what
get
we
said
do.
here. Yeah, you know what we do. Like and subscribe, people. I got a Lenny Bruce shirt on,
Very Mother's
which
Day.
means we're cool.
He called a lot of people motherfuckers, so I think that counts.
So
and,
welcome.
I have the
Happy-
Monopoly Rich Man, which does not tie into mothers at all, but there you go.
Yeah, so I woke up this morning. Mother's Day for me begins in fight flight. Because one day,
Yeah.
the first thing I do is call my mother. And perhaps there's love involved in that. But
Perhaps.
I mean, I wouldn't know.
Oh boy.
You don't really know
Yeah.
if you live a life of guilt. If your mom holds guilt over you, you're just like
Yeah.
checking off the boxes, trying to get it done this one time. I forgot to call her. This was like 4, 5, 7 years ago. And I mean, she literally, I'm quoting. Now I know how you really feel about me.
Oh, wow. That's...
Boom. Happy. I mean, and I'll tell you, all we can do as parents, and you're gonna go through this as you're shopping for eggs. We'll get into that. All you can do is learn and grow. And I say, my parents, I love my parents. They have done their best. As an adult child of my parents, I look and go, okay, that's not the way I want to take it with my kid. I don't want to say things.
You want to do it different.
Yeah, do a little different.
Yeah.
They showed up, they did their baby boomer thing, and that's all good. And here I am, a successful podcaster.
Okay.
And everything is fine. But when I hope I never say that.
Wow.
To
Yeah.
my son, even if he does.
Messed up.
Yes, isn't it?
It's
Why
messed
is
up.
that messed up?
Well, because you're right. It's the guilt thing, and I think my mom was the same way. I some of my early childhood memories are, people are going to think this is a bit, but we would be standing in line at the grocery store, and my brother and I would be begging for a candy bar or something, and on more than one occasion, my mom would look at us and very confidently say in front of other people, "Every minute you continue to disobey me is another minute you give to the devil." And, as a little kid, you're just like, holy shit, there's, I don't want to give that to the devil. I mean, I don't need that baby Ruth and burn in hell. And I remember...
And I guess as a kid, you buy that.
You buy it.
Wow.
Buy it. Like, and it's just like, yeah, so to get me to not ask for a candy bar, which, by the way, they put at kid level on purpose. So grocery stores, you have something.
Right.
There
was
something, yeah.
no teaching moment, compassion.
No
thing.
teaching
It
moment, but
was
yeah, it's like
the
you're going to
devil.
burn in hell with the devil because you want a Kit Kat or M&Ms or, and then my brother and I would look at each other like, oh man, yeah, we don't want eternal damnation. And I remember she stopped saying it because one day a woman behind us gave my mom a look and just shook her head. And my mom did not engage with her, but I think it's interesting that shamed my mom
Oh, okay.
enough to realize, like, maybe I should not be using the threat of eternal damnation against
when
a
it comes
couple
to a
of
Snickers bar.
Yeah,
Couple
exactly.
Of kids that just want some.
Yeah, I'm just a 7-year-old
chocolate. That's
who wants some
amazing.
chocolate.
That
And
is-
I mean, that was pretty common for yeah. But so, yes, I do get the guilt thing, and I think you're right. The baby boomer generation, there's also the thing like they would tell us all the time, like, well, I'm doing all this so you can have a better life. I want you to have it easier than I had it. And then they would yell at me about, well, you don't understand how hard it is. I'm like, no, you wanted me to have it easier. Now it's easier. Now you're angry at me for having an easier life.
Hard.
Yeah, because it's not hard. Like, what? I'm sorry I didn't get drafted and fight the Germans on the beaches, you know? I'm just a kid trying to figure it all out.
Yeah, I think baby boomers just did what was in between their ears and just kind of went with it, and some were more introspective than others. And yeah, when I hear our mothers couldn't be more different. Happy Mother's Day. Right?
Yeah,
couldn't be more different.
I think so,
Yet-
but they knew how to, or they not. Yeah, they used guilt.
Yeah, but the guilt is there. For
The guilt
Jews,
is
it's
there,
different. It was not about the afterlife or damnation. It was about right here and right now.
Yeah.
You have eternally let me down. You are, like, okay, between you and me. Who's, between you and me and anyone.
Who's listening?
My list, yeah. Like, my mom, okay, she said to me a number of times when I was at my most, I've let my mom have it. I've told her to fuck off and told
me
her
too.
she's clueless.
Yeah,
and
me too.
And in the last century, not just as a teenager. She just gets me.
Yeah.
And she has said to me, you are selfish and cruel and you're mean to me.
Wow.
And that, I have to say, I don't think I would ever say that to my son, even if I felt that way, even if it felt that way.
Wow.
And I guess it's just, that's the best she can do, though. That's how she sees it.
It's an interesting phrase because a lot of times when I would get into arguments with my mom about stuff, she would tell me, your father and I are just doing the best that we can. We're doing the best that we can. And, I felt a lot of guilt years later playing some of that back. But then a therapist in recovery also said to me, like, yeah, it's true they were doing the best that they could. But here's the thing. They were the adult and you were the child. So even though they thought they were doing their best, they can still fall short, and you do carry emotional wounds. You do, not to make it sound like, man, I blame all my problems on my mom. But yeah, another way to look at this is that old phrase, your parents can press your buttons because they installed them. And my mom was great at pressing my buttons and getting me to be upset and pissed off, and then I would lose my temper and be the same.
Yeah.
I would go at her, and then she would go,
push you into the behavior.
Yeah.
Use your trauma against you. Push you into the behavior to allow her to say, look at you.
And she would even say to me stuff like, I would never say that to my mother. And like, well, maybe you should have. Maybe it would have been a healthier, instead of you telling us constantly how bad your mom was, and then we're all going over there for Christmas, and, we're all like, what do I say? What do I not say? This is so awkward, And then seeing my grandmother say things to my mom that my mom was saying to me, and it's just like, you see, like, oh, it's that generational trauma is a real thing. Like, it's just going to get passed on unless you decide to, I'm not going to do it.
I did something that was really, my mom and I are getting along really well right now.
Oh, good.
And I did something this last time. We went to visit her in Florida. See, a part of my mom, there's different layers that I have to tolerate in my mom. Okay? So one layer, which I think she finally has curbed a bit because I can't take it, is just the all-out judgment. And you should be doing this, and Colleen should be doing this, and aren't you? That, her and I, we might not be talking anymore.
Wow.
And maybe she sensed that. Do you know what I mean? I cannot listen to you comment about my life. It really upsets me.
Yeah.
Even though at times it's a reflex and she doesn't mean it. She just, you say, how's it going? Oh, it's going pretty good. This is going, well, you should probably do this. It's just like, well, I guess I'm just being helpful. And then there's another layer of just comments that my mom likes to use the word fat. Like, call me a pussy, call me woke. I don't know, call me whatever you want. I think it's a rude word to be thrown around. He's fat. She's fat.
Yeah.
I just, to my, do you agree?
I agree. I do agree. Yeah.
I feel like I feel like it's very insensitive. She just throws it around. He's fat, and I ran into so and so. They were fat. It's and stuff like that. Another thing. Okay, my mother. I'm gonna listen to this. My mother.
Get it out, buddy. Get it out.
She has said this multiple fucking times. Okay. Okay. My mother is not wealthy, but she's okay. She's enough that she can take her trips and do her thing. So she flies first class now. She's just decided I can relate to that if I could.
Yeah.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Flying sucks. So this is how she describes it. I can't sit on the back of the bus anymore. That's how she describes it. So
mothers.
She's comparing I guess Jim Crow to
It's very similar.
Her flying first class. She doesn't see that, and my mom is a liberal democratic boomer. She doesn't see.
I think it's that generation because my mom had other idiosyncratic ways. Like every time she would talk about a person, like she would tell us about her day, right? And we would always get the race of the person. You know, when it had nothing. Like, so we went to Denny's and we had a lovely waitress, black, and we were talking. I can't remember what it was about. Then the busboy came over, Mexican, and we
seriously,
it was just like this weird sort of like she would just
footnote,
footnote
Mexican,
and then there would be like she wouldn't mention someone, and I would go like, well, what race was that person? Like, oh well, he was white. You know, it was like this weird, you know, like it didn't rise to the level of racism, like overt racism, but it's weird that she felt the need to tell us the race of of people. You know what I mean? And I think again, that's just her generation, her you know, for whatever weird reason. Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of, like, I do remember as she got older too, and this might have been more, you know, Alzheimer's starting to kick in and just the filter was gone, you know, but she was starting to say things like, you know, I don't know why black people are the only people that can use the N-word. Like, I remember her just saying this out loud once, and my brother and I just looked at each other.
You know, like non sequitur.
Yeah, like just it came out of nowhere. You know, my dad was talking, I don't know, about some project in the garage, and my mom was like, I don't know why black people are the only ones that can use the N-word. And she didn't say N-word either, you know, which also was just like, whoa. And then my brother trying to explain, like, well, the only reason you could use it is if you were a rapper or you hate them. Which one is it, Mom? And my mom was like, oh, well, I find that, you know, just like then just being offended that we were calling her out on something. But here's the other thing too, okay? Like, we are complaining about our moms.
On Mother's Day.
On Mother's Day, which is beautiful. I will say, like, yeah, you know, when I look back, my parents showed up for me in ways that I did not appreciate in the moment, through whole chapters of my young life. And I do believe that they did want the best for me, and I do believe they were trying their best. But yeah, I mean, you know, I got you want to talk about guilt, like we would get into an argument. I'm adopted, right? And this became like a family joke. Well, to my brother and I, who's also adopted, right? And my mom would hit us with, "Do you think your father and I wanted to go out and get you special and have you act like this?" And it was just, when we were younger, it was so disarming to be like, wow, I am such an ungrateful piece of shit.
Uh-huh.
You know, but as you got older, you know, my brother finally one day just blurted out, like, you know, "Did you keep the receipt? Like, why would you even say this? Like, what?
Yeah.
You know, what do you want us, you know, between like damning us to hell for a candy bar and now reminding us every time we get into an argument that we're adopted, like what, you can't,
There's just a lack of awareness to that kind of trauma.
everything was about guilt. That was the control mechanism. Everything was about guilt. Yeah.
And the thing is, what happens if you control your kids with guilt, it's effective. But then if you feel like, boy, they're not showing me a lot of love, and maybe they don't want to be around me, and that might be part of the price you pay, because the love is there, but we're not running on love. We're not motivated by love. We're motivated by, ever since my mom let me have it. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I have signs that call your mom, get this out of the way. We have a nice conversation, but it's fear and guilt.
Yeah. And that's
driving
a shame.
it.
Yeah, that's a shame.
So anyway, but just to finish, so I went to Florida, and I decided that layer of stuff that comes out of her mouth, I for the first time I said to myself, you know what, she really doesn't mean it.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose to approach this like she doesn't mean it. I'm going to let her make her comments. It's not heavily racial. It's just insensitive. It's, this person's fat, and I'm going to tell the story again about how I ran into your soccer coach, and I went there, and you know what they say about the popular kid in high school? Now you're going to be fat. But, and I just decided to not be all codependent with Colleen. Be like, you know what? She knows my mom. She loves. She's fine. Yeah. And I actually had a good time.
Yeah.
So there can be, for the first time, I had a little control.
Mm.
And it had to come from acceptance, because you can't change these people.
No, you're right.
You cannot change these people.
If you want to change the nature of the relationship, you have to change yourself, or you have to change your reaction. I think I had the same realization at some point with my mom, and it was sad because I could see her trying to press buttons that used to work, and even one of my sisters even, you know, acknowledged it to me, just saying like, yeah, you're doing a good job, you know, not letting mom, you know, press those buttons anymore. Uh-oh. Dan, are you still with me? Uh-oh. Feels like something just happened. Like I just lost my co-host. Uh-oh. Well, we've been having a day of technical flubs. We oh, there you are. You're back.
Sorry. So you said even my sister.
Yeah, one of my sisters saw it and acknowledged that, hey, you're doing a good job by not taking mom's bait, not you know, and it one day you just hit that wall, and it's either like, you know, this is going to be our relationship where we're going to just argue and I'm going to take the bait, or I'm not going to take the bait. And it was sad to see because I think my mom didn't understand what was happening. Like, oh, it just didn't work anymore on me. And then, I mean, I think about this now because, as I was telling you, you know, Christine and I are, you know, we want to have a baby, we want to have a child, and the best way forward is probably an egg donor. And
could I ask, because you guys are getting up there, is that the reason?
Yeah, I mean the big reason is age. You know, I don't want to go too in depth around. You know, there's some other medical issues that Christine is facing. Not life-threatening or terrible, but just it makes it impractical to deliver a child. And so we had our first appointment at a fertility doctor, and
Wow.
that was eye-opening, and I felt like there's got to be a hidden camera. First of all, the fertility doctor was gay on 11, which is not a problem.
Gay on 11?
Like,
11.
Gay turned up to 11, right?
Okay.
And but it felt like there's no way
It's a Bay Area experience.
There's no way this is real. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sitting there like, you're a character, right? Like, this is an SNL sketch or something. Mm-hmm. And, at one point, so I have to give a sperm analysis, right? I've got to do that. And he's looking at it and, like, the morphology, I'm going to get some of this wrong. So if anyone checks me on it, please forgive me. So they look at everything. And one of the things is, like, morphology, which is the shape of the sperm, the head of the sperm, and the morphology can be off a little bit. That doesn't necessarily mean the genetic material is bad. It just means that it looks bad. And so I explain this to him, and he just goes, "You have ugly sperm." And that's literally what he said. And I am taken aback for a second. I'm like, wait a minute, am I a carrier of ugly? And he's like, oh, no. Your child should be beautiful, but just you have ugly sperm. And I want to look at Christine and go like, this isn't real, right? Like this, you paid this guy. But he's like, no, genetically, no. There's no such thing as a carrier of ugly.
Your sperm itself is ugly.
Yeah, my sperm itself is ugly. Also, the tail, right? I can't remember what the technical term for the tail is, right? Mm-hmm. Like some of them are a little off, and they're not as motivated to move around. So, my sperm are ugly and unmotivated. And I'm just like, yeah, that's me. They take after me. That's which is a weird, which is a weird thing, I had this feeling in me where like I didn't know I was
unmotivated sperm.
Yeah, like it's like, well, yeah, they're old
just
now.
They're just kind of they're a little old.
They're just hanging out. They want to sit on the couch. They want to relax.
Makes
like
sense.
What? We don't have to get this done right away.
Yeah.
It's 57-year-old sperm.
I'm pacing myself.
I'm pacing. Themselves. Yeah, look, it'll get done. Just hold on, woman. No.
So it's her egg, your sperm.
Yeah.
And where does this happen? Where does this? What oven?
This conversation?
No, where does it cook?
Well. Okay, so we're not going to use her eggs because at this point, and this was very blunt, because we were looking for a number. Like, what is the probability of us being able to conceive a child with her egg and my sperm in a test tube? And it really comes down to, again, nobody's fault. It's an age thing. And the doctor's like, okay, the probability of having a healthy egg is less than 1%. I'm like, whoa. Okay, well, that was we were looking for a number, and now we have
works.
it. That's off the table. And it comes down to, all right, we have to find an egg donor. And so there's, a website that they're connected to. And Christine has started to scroll through, and he tells us, and I thought this was fascinating, he goes, you're going to go through this egg donor website, and you're going to discover biases you never knew you had.
Tell me more about that.
Well, and I kind of look at him, and he's just like, you're going to, does this person have a bachelor's degree, or how much money have they made? Maybe I don't like that eye color. Oh, they're a little too short. Well, I want someone who's ethnic but not ethnic. Stuff like that. And it's yeah.
So suddenly you're a Hollywood casting director.
Exactly. Yeah, you're like, wow, okay. Yeah. And one thing, this is terrible. One thing Christine and I are proud of is we both have nice asses. We have nice asses. There, I said it. You said both? It. We have nice asses, okay? And she said to me...
You going to stand up and show us your ass?
Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're going to...
Let's see. Let's see if I can... I don't want to... I mean, yeah.
I see.
I got sweatpants on here, but
Okay, I see a little curve. Yes.
Yeah. There's a little
yeah,
junk in the
there's a little
trunk,
curve.
little
Yes.
gadonk, a little oomph there. For
And
a
I'm sure-
white guy, that's a
I'm
pretty
sure.
good ass.
Yeah. Okay. So you want your baby to have a nice ass.
Well, she just said it's a shame that we can't have our own
Uh-huh.
child because it would have a great ass.
And you know what? You're right. There are biases, because now that I think about it, flat-assed people, they're fine. I'm not.
I mean, if you want to hang
I'm
out
not-
with them.
But no, it would seem like two parents with a nice ass. Yeah, you want to have
You
a
want
want
to
a flat
pass
ass
that
kid.
on. You want to
Yeah.
have that on. Yeah.
If you got a flat ass, you have a flat ass. But fine, you accept that.
I'm still gonna love my flat ass child.
Yeah,
Right.
but,
But I'm not gonna. Oh man, this chair's uncomfortable. God damn it.
yeah.
If we had just handed on the ass gene, and then there's
Right.
things.
Okay,
like,
so can you? But there's no way to predict the ass.
there's no
from
way to
that.
predict. But here's
Well, you
okay,
can
and
see
again,
the person.
here's another bias, right? So
Mm-hmm.
because Christine is Asian, right? We
Mm-hmm.
also want to have a child that is half Asian. And then,
How would your mom feel about this?
Oh, she would hate all of us.
Okay.
It's
Again,
all-
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the irony too, because it's like,
What would she say about what you're doing?
well, she would be against it. She would say that it's weird. She would say that it's going to have an emotional toll on the kid. She would just say that it's unnatural for another woman to carry another woman's baby.
So it's all
it's all
unchristian.
Yeah, but here's the
unnatural.
thing I would remind her of. I would like, well, didn't Mary carry God's baby? Like, wasn't she, a vessel really for a third party donor? That's not how your whole religion got started.
Right, the whole immaculate.
The Immaculate Conception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, so if I may ask,
Yeah.
is this bun go in Christine's oven? Does this happen? Is that the idea?
So
Or-
no, it would
No.
it would be so. I mean, we're still very early in the process, and we're still we're looking at adoption. We're looking at so could she carry the child? Maybe, but again, the probability is low that the child would be born normally. It more than likely, not only would we have an egg donor, but it would be carried in a surrogate. So again, it gets very complicated because the other thing that you start to realize, and the doctor did also inform us, if we go this route, we would have to sit down with a psychologist. And it's not that they want to make sure that you are emotionally and fit to raise a child. That is some of it. But they also want to give you ways to talk to the child. So think about this for a second. Genetically, half of the child would be me because I would be providing the lazy sperm. But the other genetic half would come from an Asian egg donor. And then that egg, more than likely, would be carried in another woman, her womb, as a surrogate. So there's 3 women involved with this child coming into our lives, which is, that sounded like a hot
So
sentence
you
when I
got
was 20.
you
but
got the egg donor, the surrogate, and Christine.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And again, all I have to do is just provide
Just
my lazy sperm.
do what you've been doing all your life. Isn't that funny? All you got to do is what you do.
All I got what I do.
Sit back and
Let's just
sit,
say it like
back
it is.
And just
Just
live in shame.
live. That seems to be the reoccurring thing here. It's like, you know what? Somehow or
Isn't that
another,
funny? It's all you got. Just the usual.
I can't wait for it.
Pop the
Father,
sperm
can you
out.
tell me how I was born? Well, it starts with shame. And then it goes to
So
another.
here's-
Yeah.
On this Mother's Day, so here's something I want to pass on to you because we have talked about marriage. You were asking me, what about to pass on some marriage?
Yeah, please.
So I remember the last time, for those of you who are paying attention to our episodic
Splainers.
podcast, number one, don't be broke. So we talked about
broke.
that. Don't be fucking broke.
Don't be broke.
I know. That being said, we're both dreamers. We don't. We focus on creativity. That being said, do not be a broke ass fucking loser and get married. It sucks. Okay.
Yeah.
Number two. Once you're a parent, your character and success and all that should make up your self-esteem is now how good a parent you are. That's what it's all about. And I think some people get that wrong, actually. So I've heard this from so when I was living in LA, this schmucky guy said this to me. And more recently, I might have a family member who said this to me. Like, my spouse, they're talking about their wife or husband or whoever. He or she wants the kid. And so I'm going to be supportive. It's not really my thing, but I'm going to be supportive. But this is kind of her thing.
Yeah.
No. Don't have a kid. Seriously. You're now a father. It doesn't matter that you're a good videographer and you're into ceramics and you want to keep your bullshit life. It's over. Now you have a kid and now you're just a shitty father. That's what you are.
Wow.
You're either a shitty father or a good father, and the rest doesn't matter.
Wow.
And
yeah.
That I'll stand by that. Do you know what I mean? And that's the tough part. Everything you do, you can still be yourself, and you can still do your comedy as you should, because it's in service of your son. You're being a role model, and you're making money. But if it separates you, or if somehow the kid is a threat to my life, don't have kids.
Yeah,
It's
I
all
would agree
now.
with that. I would 100% agree with that. Yeah, I mean, I've thought about it. I always thought I would be a good dad. I did, but I also thought
I think so. I think you'd be a good dad.
It just didn't happen earlier in life, and I think that's also probably good that it didn't happen. I mean, now emotionally I can show up, financially I can show up. But the other thing that we talk about is this whole process. If we go the route of in vitro fertilization, egg donor, surrogate, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, and as someone who experienced being broke, man, oh man, I don't want to have to look at my kid and say like, hey, we can't afford that. There is this, then we look at adoption, and adoption is far less expensive. And in some ways it's a little bit
like
of a gamble.
adopting a new baby.
Yeah, adopting a baby and going through an agency, and yes, you can adopt an Asian child. Yes, you can, but you don't know anything about really the parent, so you don't know, am I getting someone who's the product of two addicts? And as an addict in recovery, I worry also about passing that genetic predisposition along. That it's a legitimate fear. I would hate to see.
Do you know anything about your bio parents?
Not really. I mean, my mom used to tell my brother and I, we don't know if it's true because, first of all, the act of adopting a child, it's a loving act. She did the right thing. Both my parents wanted, more kids, and my mother was older and adopted two boys. But she used to tell me, and this is a joke I've been doing on stage forever. She told me that my father was a professor and my mom was a student, so I think of myself as extra credit. Right? Which you want to hope. I literally did that joke once, and the guy in the audience yelled out, "Did she pass the class?" Which is just a stunning heckle. Like, holy shit, man.
Pretty good heckle.
Pretty good heckle.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, fuck. Yeah, like, yeah.
That's not bad. If you're gonna, your father is okay, so it's kind of a awkward situation type of adoption, as opposed to you could have
The other
worse situations.
I mean, the other thing that I think about is, for some adoptees, it becomes a burning desire to learn about your biological parents. And in a lot of cases, like I was adopted through Catholic Charities, which is notoriously closed. Like you cannot get information out of them about who your biological parents were. And knowing that impacted a lot of adoptees, nowadays, the idea of open marriage or giving that information, it's a lot more prevalent, and it's considered to be a lot less traumatic. But that also, there's a whole other set of questions and implications then around like, okay, if I adopt a child, and somewhere down the road, 10 years, 20 years, whatever, one of the parents shows up, or the kid is like, hey, I need to know who are my biological parents. I know that's a difficult thing, being an adult adoptee. Like, yeah, I do wonder, who are my parents? Like, what were they like? What were they interested in? What were the circumstances? If what I'm being told is true, like what happened? I mean, I was born in '68 in Florida, and I can imagine like my father was some alcoholic professor, and my mother was like some poetryist, flavy.
Are you bio sibling with your brother?
No.
Okay, different.
Yeah,
okay.
Totally different. Yeah. But I mean, any route we go, the child is going to have questions that are going to be a little difficult to answer. I mean, I think, you don't, you have to sit them down and be sincere and honest. I was told too young that I was adopted. I did not understand what my mom was trying to explain to me and my brother. Like, we just didn't, it didn't click. It just confused us more than anything.
Did she just say, I got you special and you're disappointing me? I mean, is that the context?
That wasn't the first time
okay.
So I was going into first grade and my brother was still in kindergarten. And I think that's really too young because I did not understand. But my mom's reasoning was, I think it was based on some love. She knew that kids can be cruel, right? And if they get a hold of information that makes you different, they're going to use it on you, right? They're going to tease you at recess. They're going to, that kind of a thing. So she's like, okay, I want to empower you. She didn't say that. Like, I want, so you're adopted.
Didn't use that word.
Yeah. I don't think that was that's not a baby boomer vocab word, right? And the way that she explained it was that, Jesus was given to Mary and Joseph to love and to raise until he was ready to go out into the world. And we're like, oh, okay, So then the first day of class, I was sent to a private Catholic school for first grade, and they wanted us to understand what that really meant. And they said, like, Jesus was, given to Mary and Joseph to love and raise. And then when we're all going around in our homeroom, they're like, you have to stand up and say something special about yourself. I stood up and I said, I'm the Messiah. Because I thought, like, the story my mom told me about how I came to be and the story they were telling us about Jesus, It was the same story. And then everyone's like, you're not the Messiah. I'm like, I'm a Messiah. My mom told me. And I vividly remember the teacher she didn't know how to respond because she was looking at me like, is this kid mentally ill? Does he really think he's the Messiah? And it turned into a huge fucking ordeal, where my parents had to come in for a family parent conference. Like, your son thinks he's the Messiah.
And why didn't they just clear it up? You were right, actually. Based on the information you were given, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, and here's the problem, though, right? all of the adults agreed that, okay, it was a mistake, and based on the information you gave him, it makes sense that he came to the conclusion that he did, but you got to talk to him and clear it up. So then, when my mother attempts to clear it up, rather than just straight out explain to us, right, because the cat's out of the bag now, she goes, okay, you know how some people for Christmas, they'll go and they'll get a Christmas tree. And you know, I'm like, yeah, we have fun doing that as a family. We go, we find the Christmas tree. Dad chops it down, we bring it in. It's great. It's a lot of fun. She's like, right. And then some people, they'll get a plastic Christmas tree. And like, oh yeah, you know, it's, you know, let's.
Are you the plastic Christmas tree?
Yes. But the important thing is, Dan, that families love both the trees just the same.
I'm confused.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm confused and sad.
So a week
just
later,
hearing that.
When I go back into school and the teacher's like, Joey, did your mom explain to you that you're not the Messiah? I'm like, yeah. Like,
I'm a Christmas tree.
Yeah, I'm a Christmas tree. I'm a plastic Christmas tree. And again, like, I'm sincerely relating this to an adult. And again, I can tell by her expression that something is wrong. Right? Like, she's looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, does this kid, is it, maybe she's
And again, you're not crazy. You're smart.
I'm just trying,
You're the son of a professor taking in information and reasonably coming to conclusions. That's all you are.
Yeah. But again, like, my mom's whole reasoning was to prevent kids making fun of me, right? So then, you know, for like the rest of my life, every time I see these kids, oh, it's the Messiah. Hey, where's your tinsel? What, do you put it on your arm? You know, and I'm just, it's like, it totally backfired. It totally backfired. And yeah, I mean, that's a huge resentment that I still have against my dead mother, right? That it's just like,
completely. And what that strikes me as fear. Like, she was afraid. She wanted to protect you, and she was afraid of the truth.
Yeah.
You're adopted. That's the truth.
You're adopted. Well, what does that mean? It means that a woman gave birth to you and she was unable to care for you. Right. And in an act of love, we brought you into our home and you are ours.
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
Is it some deep down embarrassment, or it's not supposed to go that way? Or I
don't think she thought we would understand. I think which is weird to me, because I think her reason to explain to us we were adopted, I think, that's a smart choice. Like, let's give the kids information so they're not teased. And then, like, years later, my brother and I are talking, and we realize, like, the whole reason my mom was afraid that kids would tease us on the playground about being adopted was because my mom was a playground monitor and had told some of the other mothers who are playground monitors, who also have kids going to school with us, that we were adopted. So she had told the mothers,
right? Because that's another thing I was going to say. How are they going to find out? So she had created everything.
She created the whole mess.
Created it and
then made it worse. Yeah, by first making me think I was a Messiah, and then making me think.
And that's so smart. You were just going. You were boldly going towards truth.
Yeah. And I'm like, look, this is awesome. Joey. I have something in common with Jesus. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
He was a Messiah. I'm a Messiah. We both had adopted parents. Like, what's the big deal? And then years later, I discovered drugs. Why? I wonder. Why?
That's another thing I was going to say. This is just my theory. You and I we're both alcoholics, addicts. I have this idea. Our addiction is not a genetic thing. It's an environmental.
I think mine might have been.
That can, maybe yours was. Mine was just. It's just me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just trying to cope.
Yeah, it was just tough being me when I was younger. My parents were both very non-alcoholic.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Yeah,
yours might be.
Mine were not at all. My adopted parents were, my dad would have a couple of beers every once in a great while. My mom would have a glass of wine, like half a glass of wine every once in a while. They were not alcoholic, addictive. So I think I think I probably came into this world with a genetic component, a predisposition for it. But then yes, I think my guilt environment
Yeah.
definitely shaped me.
That can create alcoholism. When you were fundamentally set up to be confused and anxious. I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
And you're what's I find interesting is just the nature and nurture and how it applies to you. Your mom, I don't know if you shared this now. You've shared it with me many times. Your mom chose you and your brother to be priests.
Yeah.
It was a blatant,
Yeah.
I need to have two boys.
Yeah.
They had a girl, and they couldn't have a boy, and they said, we're going to adopt two boys to be priests.
Yeah.
Right?
And that was motivated out of guilt from her perspective, because she was a nun, and she left after 10. She didn't take the final vows at the 10-year mark, and I think that stunning amount of guilt that she carried with her, the way she rationalized it is like, okay, I will give the Catholic Church back priests, like it's some hostage negotiation, and that will clear the books. We'll be even.
So you were
Didn't work.
And the interesting thing is it didn't work from the beginning.
Beginning.
You were a non-priest from the start. It never even began to work.
Yeah.
It sounds like with you and your brother, you're both more non-secular. You were running away.
Yeah. Poor
Coming
mom.
to your own conclusion. I know.
Poor
Did she
mom.
adjust to that ever?
I don't think so. I think it honestly got harder and harder for her as she got older, and she just saw like all of her kids really not embracing the Catholic faith, which was hard for her, and I think she took that personally, like a weird. Because as a kid, so many times she would say like, "I'm trying to give you something."
Be themselves.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's hard to. I mean, we all struggle with it as parents. You have to let kids be themselves within the positive values you're passing on, and it's tough.
It is tough. But you know what? Here's how we should end this. I think today's special. Can you think of a good positive memory that you have with your mom? Can you think? Yeah.
Yes.
Because I can think of a couple.
Okay, I'll think of. Let's see. We'll both go with two, and we'll go back and forth.
Okay.
Here is a positive memory I have of my mom. It's just popped in my head. I remember I was getting ready to do Live at Gotham. Remember our Comedy Central thing?
Yeah.
And I was stressed and driving myself crazy, driving everybody crazy. I was just... And it's something I need to reconcile. I sabotaged many things I did because I was just, at times, a very stressed out, insecure person. And the point is, I remember my mom, she said to me, Danny, you work so hard to get these things and you drive yourself nuts. And here's why it's a positive thing. That was helpful and real.
Yeah.
As opposed to wishy-washy or critical and judgmental. She was right on. And that's all I ever wanted from her. Like, yes, I hear you because you're not talking me out of my feelings. You're being real with me. Okay, so now you give a good one.
I remember I must have been about 17 or 18. My sister and I have an apartment in Danville, California, and my mom is staying with us. And my mom knows I go hiking up in the hills a lot, and she goes, "I wonder what it looks like from up there." And I'm like, "Do you want to come? Like, let's go hiking together." And we it's Los Trompas. So if you live in the area, like Alamo, Danville, you know the area I'm talking about. And I remember, like, we got almost to the top, and my mom was like, "I just, this is it. This is as far as I can go." And I'm like, "But Mom, I want to show you, the view that you wanted to see. Like, let's just rest here." And we got to the top, and she was just like, "Oh my God, it's so gorgeous." And then, of course, she wanted to pray. But I remember that day, and I just remember thinking, like, yeah, this was nice, just hanging out with my mom, going for a long hike, really just showing her how beautiful the area was. Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's nice. And the other one I would say is my mom is a great grandmother. She's the best. She is just exactly what a grandmother should be. And it's because it caters to her strengths. We all just want to do our best. And so her motives are always good, and having a grandchild, perfect for her. And it's not easy because some parents are not great grandparents and kind of don't have the energy or the connection to do it.
That's good.
Yeah. I give her that. Okay, now you do one more.
So the anniversary of this one is coming up. So 1980, May 22nd, The Empire Strikes Back came out. Now, on that day, my brother and I were both given notes that we were going to the dentist. We thought we were going to the dentist. And we got picked up by my parents. And my parents were uncustomarily giddy. And we couldn't figure out why. And then my mom turns around and tells my brother and I that they're going to take us to see, on opening day, The Empire Strikes Back. And that was, not only was that just cool for that reason, but because when Star Wars came out and my brother and I became obsessed with it, my mom really had a problem with it because she could see that pulled our focus away from becoming priests. Right? So the fact that, and there was a lot of arguments around that, but the fact
Jedi
that she...
instead of priests.
Yeah. But the fact that she was taking us to see The Empire Strikes Back meant she was trying. She was trying to understand us. She was meeting us where we lived as kids and what we were interested in. But I will always remember that day because I think it's one of the coolest things my parents ever did for us.
Yeah, and those little things are so special when you... meet a kid where they're at and get excited about what they're excited about.
Yeah. It was such a special... I just remember being in the car and just like, no way. Like, there's no way. And yeah, it was phenomenal. That was a special day. And May 22nd, whenever it comes up, I always think about my mom and I think about my dad and I think about, what they did for us and how much it meant that they were trying. Because it was a big deal for them to do that. I still love them for that. And on that,
all right, on that positive note, everybody, happy Mother's Day. Love your mom.
Love your mom
today.
Call her.
Accept them for what they are, and call them or don't call them.
There is no in between.
Yes, there is no.
To paraphrase Yoda.
There is no try, do, whatever.
That's more Kermit the Frog. But yes, that is acceptable.
Yes, love your parents.
Love your parents. Mom. Like and subscribe. Love the Splain.
Like and subscribe. Love us.
And we'll be back next week with a guest, we promise.
With a guest. We'll see you next week.